up. And this bold prediction is really interesting.
Yeah, and this one is also dependent not only on this team, but also the Chiefs and what happens with Tyreek Hill. Because if Tyreek Hill's out there, nobody's outscoring Mahomes. There's no doubt his throne is going to stay there. And he's still my number one ranked quarterback. I'm not going to be psycho enough. But the one guy I could see really coming in and challenging him and taking that top spot is the QB6 in expert rankings right now, but my QB2, and that's Baker Mayfield, who I'm in absolute love with. And this was even before they went and got Odell Beckham. I was in love with Baker Mayfield, mainly because you got Freddie Kitchens, you got that chemistry with Freddie Kitchens, and how much he started to dominate with him once they finally got rid of Hugh Jackson and brought in Kitchens. I believe it was something like Baker Mayfield. I'm trying to find my note here. I lost it. Where did I put it? There it is.
His efficiency went up. 100%.
Oh, it was insane. He went up to he was on pace for 4,600 yards, 35 something touchdowns, to be the QB 4 or 5 with a very weak weapons cabinet last year when Jarvis Landry couldn't do what he does best because he was the number one facing number one. Now you got him just destroying the underneath. You got Odell Beckham lifting the lid, and you got Freddie Kitchens who decided to call a ton of deep shots. Now mixed with Todd Monken, which originally, I was like, I'm all aboard this. This is going to be unbelievable. The air raid concepts. Baker Mayfield thrived in the air raid in college. We just saw Jameis Winston and Ryan Fitzpatrick combined for the league lead in yardage under Todd Monken. And then you got Baker Mayfield, the number 2 ranked deep passer from Pro Football Focus. Number 1 was actually Drew Brees, just for the record. Just saying. Not out of necessity. The guy can still sling it deep. But Baker Mayfield was the number 2 ranked deep passer from Pro Football Focus. So you get this offense that's all about bombing it deep and whatnot. It just, to me, was the perfect marriage of scheme and Freddie Kitchens and Todd Monken. Now, reports are they're kind of starting to butt heads, and there's a little bit of trouble in paradise between Monken and Kitchens.
I was going to bring that up. So
I don't know. That might impact this. We'll see what happens there. But I'm assuming it's 2 bright guys, 2 great offensive minds that both do things that Baker does really well. I imagine that those guys are going to get this figured out and whatnot. And so the exact efficiency stats, I found them over here. It was 8.72 yards per pass attempt, 395 total yards per game, best in the league once Kitchens took over, 285.9 passing yards per game, 4th in the league, and all leading the NFL in just total yards per play, 6.86. So this offense just became kind of that juggernaut under Kitchens. He's now the main guy. They got that chemistry together, and then you give them maybe the most dangerous weapon. I believe you're a huge Odell fan. I hope so. I don't know how you couldn't be outside of the injuries, which we could talk about too. Definitely an injury-prone guy at this point.
So let me ask you a question here then. So they gave away Kevin Zeitler in that trade for Odell, right? This offensive line is pretty concerning, if you ask me, because who they have?
It's unproven.
It's unproven, right?
Definitely.
You have Joel Bitonio. You have a couple of tackles like Greg Robinson and Chris Hubbard. Who the hell are those guys? Yeah. They gave away arguably one of the best offensive linemen in the league. And, I don't think Baker's going to have that much time to kind of stand and deliver. He's going to have to put the plays on his shoulder, off schedule throws, things like that. Do you think he could do that?
I do, and I think it's not quite as escapable and agility wise as Kyler Murray, but Baker does move in the pocket very well. He is a solid athlete that can move around and throw well on the move too. So I'm not overly concerned, especially if they're integrating those air raid concepts again, where the ball is designed to get out there quick. I'm not overly concerned about the line. I think it will still be a top 15, I bet, one of the better ones in the league, because they do have a couple decent names. You got to hope they all gel. That is a cause for pause, yes. But we saw, last year the Chiefs line coming into the season was ranked, I think, bottom 25, and then they ended up going up to 13 because Pat Mahomes was so good at getting out. He never got hit. He never got touched. I can see something very similar with Baker Mayfield. To me, again, that fantasy talent formula, fantasy stock formula, the talent's there. The usage will be there. It's going to be one of the pass-heavier offenses in the league. The surrounding talent is now one of the best weapons cabinet in the league between Odell and Landry. Then you got, I love Antonio Callaway's athleticism. Higgins. 3. Higgins makes some of the best back shoulder catches you'll ever see. David Njoku maybe someday will realize his potential. I'm never going to buy him again. His motherfucker got too many goose eggs last year, but still an athlete, a red zone body. So, and then you got Nick Chubb and potentially Kareem Hunt down the stretch run. That's a ridiculous overall offense with two great minds.
Forgot about Duke Johnson there too.
And Duke Johnson, I mean, yeah, one of the best pass catching backs by every single metric you want to throw out there. So yeah, I mean, this is a very stacked overall offense. I see Baker Mayfield throwing for 5,000 yards this year, 40-ish touchdowns, and threatening for Pat Mahomes' throne, especially if Tyreek Hill misses a significant chunk, if not all of the season, because of all this going on. So I'm huge on Baker Mayfield. 5,000, 40-plus TDs. He's going to blow up.